You're listening to Independent TV 7. Kindly click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Independent TV 7. Also, don't forget to click the bell icon to get more notification. Thanks for watching. In defense of the Attorney General of the Federation, rule of law is one of the cardinal attributes of democratic governance, and its sanctity must be respected and upheld at all times for democratic institutions to function effectively. Its successful implementation in a democratic setting is contingent on the three-pronged principle of equality before the law. Nobody is above the law, and nobody should be punished or made to suffer unless for a breach of law. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as he may be called, has recently become the victim of an orchestrated snare and smear campaign, particularly from southeast of the country, for his role in the Nnamdi Kanu saga. Expectedly, there have been persistent calls from different groups and individuals from the southeast for unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, the self-styled champion of Igbo interest and the founder and leader of the infamous indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and the immediate proscription, of his organization as a prelude to the commencement of a dialogue-based negotiation sentiment between the federal government and the Igbo nation of the southeast. Otherwise, as the undertones of their calls indicate, there will be no going back on their demands, and therefore peace in their region and ultimately the entire nation will continue to be a fleeting illusion. And most of the time they blame the Attorney General for instituting a legal action against Kanu and some of his co-ops for the vicious and brutal killings of law enforcement officers and innocent people, as well as the wanton destruction of the police stations, security establishments, public buildings and institutional structures in the southeast, among other related charges. But above all, he is being charged for insurrection, which is a far more serious and unpardonable crime, especially considering Kanu's penchant for unbridled violence and unparalleled criminality in his monstrous determination to achieve his goals. In addition to these brazen acts of brigandage, that is what it is. IPOB, which is the indigenous people of Biafra members, clad in military-style uniform with the bold initials BNG, standing for Biafra National Guard, have been going on the rampage, displaying unparalleled lawlessness, harassing innocent people and looting shops and supermarkets with undeniable impunity. I believe that is a narrative that has been, really written from this so-called government, and prescribing them as being a terrorist. Most of the atrocities that is being perpetrated by some hoodlums, or I would rather say they were unknown government, has been attributed to these indigenous people of Biafra led by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Definitely, they also give seats at home orders, which are being followed to the letter by the innocent people for fear of being killed, thereby strangulating their social and economic activities. If it has been written like this, but definitely the narrative is not how it's been portrayed here. But let's move on. And in all this chaos and mayhem, the elected officials from zone, including senators and House of Representatives members, are mysteriously silent, as if nothing is happening. Their inability or unwillingness to condemn Kanu and IPOB speaks volumes about their true feelings. All along, however, the Attorney General of the Federation has been pursuing the legal option in order to ensure that the culpability or innocence of Kanu and his co-conspirators is determined by a competent court of law. As the case may be, which is the preponderance of evidence at the disposal of the federal government indicates that a prima facie case called which is called by the court to adjourn Nnamdi Kanu's case, because this is coming from the Malami, and it could be established against the defendant, which is why there has been a strong and concerted series of agitations by some eminent personalities for the release of Kanu, because the court has been adjourning the case of Nnamdi Kanu just because they have no evidence against him as it states really right now. The hearing, most times either there will be a logistic problem, or rather there will be that the so-called lawyers were not available at the right time, or they will be locked out of the courtroom. Well, not only that, he is also determined to ensure that the victims of the senseless killings and callous destruction of government and private structures get the justice they deserve. Otherwise, the principle of equality before the law and nobody above the law will be a nonsense. As governors of the Southeast have recently admitted, cultists, robbers, and kidnappers took advantage of the chaos created by IPOB and unleashed additional mayhem on the innocent people, thus further compounding the already unruly situation. The Attorney General of the Federation was in fact looking at the old picture when he filed the suit against Kanu and the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, in a manner that would differentiate the actual IPOB members from the cultists and robbers. In this way, even if amnesty is granted to Kanu and co, the cultists and robbers would not go scot-free. However, eminent personalities and leaders of thought in the Southeast zone are still insisting that Kanu should be freed, and therefore the cultists, robbers, and kidnappers as well would live to hold them to ransom another day. For justice to be seen to have been served, it is only natural to follow the path taken by the Attorney General of the Federation. Their persistent vilification rather of the Attorney General is totally unfounded and uncalled for, because the actions he has taken have always been in line with the Constitution and relevant extant laws of the country. But basically, in irony, I would say he's just saying that he follows a constitution, because I believe even Malami acts with impunity, because there are so many on the ground coup being unleashed on the citizens, trying to either kill Nnamdi Kanu or Sunday Igboho, because that's not the way to go. If you tell me Malami has really followed the constitution, the constitution says you need to invite somebody that that is against the government, or rather like it's a suspect. Definitely after being invited, if you refuse to be invited, then you go on a rampage, or rather arrest. But at the long run, they invaded Sunday Igboho's house and Nnamdi Kanu's house as well. By that time of the day, you would know that and recall that they want to assassinate definitely Nnamdi Kanu, Sunday Igboho. On the issue of the raid on the residence of Justice Mary Odili of the Supreme Court by security operatives Abubakar Malami, the AGF was again vilified for everything that happened on the strength of a chief magistrate's unverified statement. The fact that the AGF, through his media aide, Dr. Umar Gwandu, vehemently denied any knowledge, let alone involvement in the raid, did not even satisfy the NBA executive, who threatened to have his professional honor of Senior Advocate of Nigeria definitely removed. Instead of setting up a committee to verify the chief magistrate's claims as a professional courtesy demands, the NBA executives automatically jumped to conclusion and headed to the Legal Practitioners Privileges Committee and the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee to release all their pent up fury and anti-panty definitely against the AGF as highly trained and experienced legal professionals who are representatives of the entire body of legal practitioners in the country. They should be seen to be objective and fair-minded in their reaction to issues that concerns the NBA, or rather the issues that concerns the so-called judiciary, which have far-reaching legal and political implications. Instead of succumbing to their ordination and also desires and prejudice, Malami will be stripped of his post as the Attorney General of the Federation, looking towards all these atrocities being committed indirectly or directly through the AGF. We can see that Malami himself is the shell of himself or the shadow of himself. Yes, this is where I'm going to draw the curtain. I would like you to, share your, belief in all these articles. I would like you to also share this news so that others can be aware. Thanks for listening, and God bless you.